Hello everyone, my name is Grunkle Squeaky, and today we're going to be going over the Big Crunch 22 and Vinco made boss module Security Council. Security Council is, by concept, one of my favorite bosses of all time. There are some questionable execution decisions, which I won't go too much into. Hello, Bland Module. But we will not be worrying about that right now. When it comes to Security Council, the only edge work you are going to need is the number of batteries, not even the number of holders, which today for us is one battery, and we are going to need the first and last digits of the serial number, which are 9 and 4. Wonderful. For Security Council and solving the module itself, it is not your usual gather information and then just one big submission at the end kind of boss module. It spreads out the work after every single stage. Every single time you solve a module, it will increment the stage counter and put the name of the recently solved module at the bottom, and it will require an input before you solve another module, or else it will strike. So, let's talk about actually solving the module. You will see that after we solve the tool mods, these three lines showed up on the middle of the module. Let's say peace, deliberate, and military. Those correspond to the three buttons below it in order: the blue peace button, the orange deliberate button, and the red military button. And these numbers are the number of votes that you need in order to press a specific button. So for example, after you do all of the calculations, you receive 3 votes. You'll be looking on here, you'll see 3 military. You press the military button for this stage. You might be wondering, how do we know how many votes we have? That is what these 5 country flags are for. You'll see that on the manual, there is a list of countries, each with different conditions. You will have to compare 10 different conditions, and however many of them are true, that's how many votes you have, and that will tell you which button to press. So we will need the 5 flag names that are on here. We have Australia. We have, that's not Colombia, that is Ecuador. We have, that one's not Slovakia because it is Slovenia. That one I believe to be Venezuela. And then we have, I can't remember if it's Guinea or the other one. It's the other one. Where's the other one? Mali. There you go. You'll notice that I've highlighted those 5 in yellow. And there are also 5 countries highlighted in blue. There's China, France, Russia, the United Kingdom, and the United States of America. These 5 countries are members of the permanent council, so to speak. These 5 conditions will always be checked regardless of what the 5 flags on the module are. And all 10 countries have equal weight. Each country's condition will always be worth 1 vote if it's true and 0 votes if it's false. So, for the sake of example, let's run through a quick run with this tool mods. We'll check the first condition here, the Australia condition. Module's name starts and ends with the same character. Starts with a T, ends with an S. That's not true, so we'll skip that. China, N modulo 5 equals the number of batteries. Now, this N refers to the current stage number, which is displayed at the top of the module. Obviously, since it's the first stage, our N is going to be 1. It's important to note that if you pass stage 99 and get to stage 100, N will modulo itself by 100 and only display the last 2 digits. So stage 100 will have an N of 0. So N modulo 5 equals number of batteries. 1 modulo 5 is 1. We have 1 battery, so that is true. So we will highlight that green to mark it as true. Ecuador condition. The module is a vanilla or not vanilla module. That is not true for tool mods. France. The module's name contains exactly 2 of the 3 of the following letters: Romeo, Echo, and Sierra. This condition can be a little tricky sometimes, and it is a permanent member condition, so I would advise to be very careful when working with it. So I would always recommend you double check yourself whenever doing this one. Luckily, tool mods only has an S, not an R or an E, so we don't have to worry about it. Go to the next one, Mali. N is a perfect square. This condition is also true if N is 1 number behind or above a perfect square. 1 being 1 squared is a perfect square, so that is true. Russia is a special case we'll get back to later. Slovenia. N modulo by the total number of vowels in the modulo name is equal to 0. So let's look at the number of vowels in tool mods. There are 3 vowels in tool mods. 1 modulo by 3 is 1. Therefore, that condition is not true. We continue on. United Kingdom, module's name is exactly 2 words long. That's not true. United States of America, digital root of N is the first or last digit of the serial number. Now, the first digit is a 9, the last digit is a 4, and the digital root of 1 is 1, which is neither of those, so that is not true. And finally, Venezuela, N is divisible by 7, 8, or 9. 1 is not divisible by any of those numbers, so we skip over that. We will now come back to Russia, whose condition is no other permanent member of the Security Council's condition is true. If you remember from earlier, the permanent members we highlighted in blue being United Kingdom, United States of America, China, and France. Since China's condition is true, that means that Russia's condition is not true. So what we will do, we will now count up the total number of votes that we have, or the total number of true conditions. China's condition is true, Mali's condition is true, so that is a total of 2 votes. We go back to the module, we see here that a vote count of 2 means we press deliberate, and we will press deliberate. Now, what is important is that we keep track of the number of total button presses for each button, whether it is either peace, deliberate, or war. So what we'll do, we will actually get some counters set up here. A papa for peace, a D for deliberate. I don't remember what exactly the actual word is for the third one. Nya? No, it's not a cat. Military, that's what it is. So what we will do, we press deliberate, so we will put 1 tick next to deliberate, just to mark that we've pressed it. At the end of the bomb, after you have solved every module and gone through every stage of Security Council, you will then have to just press the button between peace, deliberate, and military. That was the correct answer most often. If there's a tie for the most, like peace and deliberate are tied for the most presses, you can press either of them. Or if all 3 are tied, you can just press any button, and Security Council will solve. Another thing that's important to note, especially for this specific case here, Security Council will only recognize the 26 English letters of the alphabet, A through Z, uppercase and lowercase. No other letters and no symbols are actually included. So, for example, this little squiggle after Nya is not going to be counted for Security Council purposes. All of these information, or all of these pieces of information in edge cases are outlined down here at the bottom, including obviously some other bosses and needies being ignored, and words only being separated by spaces. So cursed 00 is only 2 words long. The hyphenated 00 only counts as a single word. Anyways, back to the module. Let's figure out what button we should press for Nya. So Australia starts and ends with the same character. That's not true. N modulo 5 equals the number of batteries is not true. Modules vanilla or not vanilla, that is not true. Contains exactly 2 of R, E, and S, not true. Is a perfect square, or N is 1 number behind or above a perfect square. 2 is 1 above 1, which is a perfect square, so this condition is true. Russia we come back to later. Slovenia, N modulo by the total number of vowels in the modulo name is equal to 0. 2 modulo 1 is in fact 0, so that condition is true. Also important to note that Y is not considered a vowel in this case. And exactly 2 words long, that's not true. Digital root of N, which is 2, is the last or first digit of the serial number. That is not 9 or 4, therefore that is not true, and 2 is not divisible by 7, 8, or 9. We come back to check Russia. None of the other permanent member conditions are true, so that means Russia's is true. We have a total of 3 votes, so we look on the module. What do we press for 3 votes? Military 3, press military, mark military down on our notepad. And let's solve another module here. Solve modulo. That's just going to be a 2. Let's go back through the conditions. Starts and ends the same character. No. N3 modulo 5 equals the number of batteries. No. Vanilla or not vanilla module. No. Contains 2 of R, E, and S. No. Is a perfect square or one number behind or above a perfect square. 3 is 1 less than 4, which is a perfect square, so that condition is true. Slovenia, 3 modulo by the number of vowels in the name, which is 3 is equal to 0, so that condition is true. Exactly 2 words long. No. Digital root of 3 is the first or last or first digit of the serial number. That is not true. 3 is not divisible by 7, 8, or 9. We come back to Russia. None of the other permanent memory conditions are true, so Russia's is true. We have 3 votes towards the module. What do we press for 3? Piece 3. Click piece. Mark it on the notepad. And we will wash, rinse, and repeat this process. Let's quickly solve a digital root. That is 11 to, yep. Go back through the conditions. Module's name starts and ends with the same character. D and T, no. 4 modulo 5 equals 1, no. Vanilla or not vanilla, no. R, E, and S. We have an R, we have no E, we have no S, so that's not true. 4 is a perfect square. 4 modulo by the total number of vowels. I, A, O, O, that is 5. 4 modulo 5 is not 0. Exactly 2 words long, that is true. Digital root of 4 is 4, which is the last digit of the serial number. Not divisible by 7, 8, or 9. And we have other permanent memory conditions which are true, so we ignore Russia. And therefore, we have a total of 3 votes. Look on the module. What do we press for 3 votes? Military 1, 3. Press military. Mark it down on notepad. So I'm going to try to pick up the pace a little bit here just so I can... Actually, no. We don't need to do that just yet because let's solve the simpleton. You'll see it is now the 5th stage, and the 5 flags on the side of the module have changed. So what we're going to do, we are going to unhighlight these 5 temporary members and replace them with the 5 new temporary members, which we have Ecuador, Cote d'Ivoire, we have Fiji, we have, that's Kazakhstan, I believe, and we have Uruguay. And now we just repeat the same process, except this time we have different temporary memory conditions. So let's go through a run of those. Cote d'Ivoire. Module's name is more than 10 letters long. That is true for the simpleton. 5 modulo 5 is 0, equals the number of batteries. That is not true. Vanilla or not vanilla module, that is not true. There is no A in the module name. That is true. Contains exactly 2 of R, E, and S. It contains an S, it contains an E, it does not contain an R, so France's condition is true. Kazakhstan, N plus 10 is prime. 5 plus 10 is 15. 15 is not prime, so that is not true. Exactly 2 words long, that is true. We are including the word the. The digital root of 5 is the first or last digit of the serial number. That is not true. And there's a letter that appears 3 or more times in the module name. This one trips me up often. It does take me a little bit to make sure that this one is true sometimes. For the simpleton, this is not true, so we'd be skipping that condition. And we have a permanent members condition, which is true, so Russia's condition is false. Count up the total number of votes. That's 4 votes. Look on the module. 4 is military. Press military. Mark it on our sheet. And we will just continue on with this process. Here's an Amogus. We have a 9 and a 4, so it's this one. Go through the conditions. Cote d'Ivoire, more than 10 letters, no. 6 modulo 5 equals 1, that is true. Vanilla or not vanilla, no. There is no A, that is not true. R, E, and S, we have an S, no R, no E. 16 is not prime. not 2 words long. 6 is not the first or last digit of the serial number, and no letter appears more than 3 times. We do have a true permanent member condition, so that is a total of 1 vote. We'll be pressing peace, and we will mark that on our sheet. And next, let's solve. Let's do this boot too big. Let's get it out of the way.
Button LED grid.
There we go. Took me too long to do that. Boot too big. More than 10 letters long. It is exactly 10 letters long. We are not including the spaces, so that is not true. 7 modulo 5. All right. So I believe that you probably now have a decent understanding of how the module works. I'm going to go into a little bit more of optimization techniques. For China, n modulo 5 equals the number of batteries. For cases where you have a number of batteries between 0 and 4, and considering that the flags rotate every 5 stages, even though China's permanent, China's condition will only be true at most exactly once per rotation of the flags. So since China's condition was true earlier, I'm just going to be ignoring it until we end up getting back to a new flag rotation. And especially if you are playing an only modded bomb, then on Ecuador you can skip asking if it's a vanilla module. It's also pretty self-explanatory if it has a not in the name. Fiji, there is no A in the name. R, E, and S, it has none of those. 17 is a prime number. Not 2 words long. 7 is not 9 or 4. O does appear 3 or more times in the name. No permanent member condition is true. So that is going to be a grand total of 4 votes, which means press military, mark it down on the sheet. Something interesting to note about this module is that it will tell you what to press if you have 10 votes, despite the fact that having 10 votes is impossible because of Russia's condition. So it doing that is a little interesting to me, but I digress. It is also mostly the case that, especially since some of the conditions are exclusive, you should always be expecting lower numbers and higher numbers. So I can almost guarantee you that for a large free pass, we're going to be pressing peace or military, since those are the numbers between 1 and 4. Take another run of the conditions. More than 10 letters long, yes. Skip China. Ecuador, no. There is an A. R, E, and S. It has all 3 of those, so that condition is not true. 18 is not prime. Not exactly 2 words long. 8 is not 9 or 4. There, Echo does appear 3 or more times in the module name. No other permanent condition is true. So that's 3 votes for military. Mark that down. And we'll continue on. Let's do a flash memory for funsies. Alright. Take a look here. Clear the true conditions from earlier. For flash memory, more than 10 letters long. Yes, that is true. Skip China. Not a vanilla or not vanilla. There is an A, so that's not true. R, E, and S. We have an E. We have an S. We have an R. We have all 3, so that condition is not true. 19 is prime. Exactly 2 words long. Digital root of 9 is 9, so that's true. There's a letter that appears 3 or more times. That is not true. 1, 2, 3, 4. Click peace. Mark it down on the text file. What's up next? We have imposter. Hold it down. Wait for it to click at me. And our flags have rotated. So let's clear the current temporary flags. By the way, if you don't know how to change the highlighter color on the website, you can change it using Alt and then any of the number keys all the way up from 1 to 0 on your keyboard. You'll access 10 different colors. We have, that's Australia, that's Fiji, that is Guinea, and then those two, that's Liberia and Malaysia. There we go, all 5 of them. Starts and ends with the same character. Again, we include the word the, so T and R are not the same character. We have to start checking China now, except I know it's going to be when N is 11, so I'm going to ignore it for now. There is no A in the module name. That is true. R, E, and S has an R, has an S, has an E in the word the, so France is not true. Has a repeated Oscars. Does not have Simon or Morse. Is not less than 9 letters long. So if you remember what I said about mutually exclusive conditions, Malaysia is mutually exclusive with Cote d'Ivoire. United Kingdom, 2 words long. Yep. Digital root of 10 is 1. That's not 9 or 4. 1, 2 votes. So press peace and mark it down. You eventually just end up getting into a machine when you end up doing this module. So let's see. We have 1 battery, so reverse order. Let's see. Same character, no. China's true. No A in the module name, that's true. R, E, and S. We have an E, we have an R. We have no S, so France is true. We have a repeated Oscar. No Simon, no Morse. It is more than 9 letters long. Exactly 2 words. 2 is not 9 or 4, so count the votes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is military. Mark military. Go ahead and clear the page. I don't refresh because then it will remove the highlights from my permanent and temporary country members. Blue whale. It's not the loudest marine animal. Can't eat anything bigger than a cantaloupe, right? That has to be true. That has to be the one that's right. I've watched enough QI to know this. Isn't it grapefruit? No, it's a grapefruit, isn't it? It's the largest animal on Earth, right?
Which mammal has the most cells in its body?
Blue whale.
Hey! There we go. I love that solid sound.
It does.
I'll let the sound effect play out.
And you get a lot of points for that. It's the blue whale bonus, and you get points. And what do points mean?
Right.
Bad surprises. Yeah.
First time I've actually done that module out. It's a pretty long sound, honestly. Australia, same character, no. China's not going to be true anymore. Fiji, there is no A in the module name. That's not true. R, E, and S. We have an E. We have no R. We have no S. That's not true. Repeated vowels. We have repeated echoes. Simon or Morse, no. Less than 9 letters long? No, it's exactly 9 letters long. So that is not true. 2 words long. Digital root of 12 is 3. That's neither of the numbers we're looking for. Skip Russia. 1. Deliberate. Mark it down. Continue on with life. Word scramble. Let's take a look. See, same letter. No. China's not true. No A. That's not true. R, E, and S. We have all 3 of those. So that's not true. Repeated vowels. We have an O. We have an A. We have an E. So I don't actually believe there are any repeated vowels. So that is true. Simon or Morse. No. Less than 9 letters. No. Exactly 2 words. Yes. Digital root of 13 is 4. So that is true. 1, 2, 3. 3 votes. Click peace. Mark it down. Continue. I actually don't remember that. I'll come back to that later. We need, last digit is a 4, right? Yeah, it's a 4. We'll wait a little bit. Why is prime checker on here? I thought I took prime checker off. Could have sworn I did. Oh well. Egg. Get rid of the last time. Same character, no. China's not true. No A in the module name. Yep. R, E, and S, only one of them. No repeated vowels. Yep. Simon or Morse, no. Less than 9 letters. Yep. 2 words. No. Digital root of 14 is 5. That doesn't meet the condition. No other permanent member conditions are true. So Russia is true. That is 1, 2, 3, 4 true conditions. What does 4 say? Military. 4, click military. Boom. Mark it down. I'm going to go ahead and also clear the country temporary members because we're about to rotate over on stage 15 as I solve this free password. And here are new countries. We have a Turkey. We have Canada. That's Guinea, I believe. Yep. We have this one, Seychelles, and Colombia. That's all 5 of them, right? Yep, that's all 5. So let's check the new conditions for free password. ZQXJV or K. No. China condition is going to be true on 16. N is less than the number of letters in the module name. Free password does not have more than 15 letters. R, E, and S, that has all 3, so that's not true. Repeated vowels, we have repeated vowels. N is 2 more than a multiple of 5. No, N is a multiple of 5. This is going to be true on 17, but not now. N times 2, 30, is exactly 1 behind or ahead from being a prime. 31 is a prime, and N times 2 is 30. So, yeah, 30 is 1 behind 31, which is prime, so that's true for Turkey. 2 words long, yes. Digital root of 15 and 6, which is not what we're looking for. 1, 2 true conditions for military. Mark it down on the sheet. And continue on with life. Break time, no breaks on the Grunkle train. Did I reset everything? Not yet. There we go. Funny letters. There's a K. China's now true. No, N is not less than the number of letters in the name. R, E, and S. We have an R, we have an E, we have no S. Therefore, that's true. There are no repeated vowels. There's a repeated E. That's true on 17. 32 is 1 ahead of 31. So we have that going for us. Exact 2 words long. No. Digital root of 16 is 7, which is not what we're looking for. We could skip Russia. We have a grand total of 4, so that's a deliberate. Mark it down. 97. N-I-N-E-T-Y-S-E-V-E-N. That should be 10. What? Oh, I can't count. Whoopsie. Oh, well. Luckily, strikes don't affect this module. Let's see what we have. Clear all of these. Gatekeeper. Doesn't have any of the funny letters. Actually, no, it does. It has a K. I forget that K is a funny letter. That's true. China's no longer true for the rest of the cycle. Gatekeeper does not have more than 17 letters. Gatekeeper has an E and an R, but no S. There is a repeated vowel. This is where Seychelles is true. N times 2, 34. That misses because 33 is not prime, 35 is not prime. 2 words long, no. Digital root of 17 is 8. That's not true. So we have 1, 2, 3. Skip Russia. Peace. Mark it down. Prime checker. I'm going to use Google just because I don't care. Swag. Swag. 31's prime. I didn't even have to look that one up. I'm so good at this game. Clear these out. Continue on with life. Prime checker has a K. That's a funny letter. China's not going to be true anymore. Prime checker does not have more than 18 letters. R-E. It has an E, it has an R, it has no S. That's true. Has repeated E's. Seychelles is no longer true. It's just like China can only be true once every cycle. Turkey, n times 2, 36. Is 37 prime? 37 is prime. We just learned this. No, we learned 31 is prime. But yeah, 36 is 1 below 37, which is a prime number. Therefore, Turkey is true. 2 words long, yep. Digital root of 18 is 9, that's true. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 votes. We're deliberating, and we're marking that down on the sheet. What is the answer to this anagrams again? Oh, it's shares. Stock market. Stage 19, anagrams, which is going to be our final stage. Clear everything out. Does anagrams have a funny letter? Anagrams does not have a funny letter. China can't be true anymore. Colombia is probably never going to be true again at this rate. R, E, and S. We have an R, we have an S, we have no E. France is true. There are no repeated vowels. There's a repeated A. Seychelles can no longer be true. 38 is 1 above 37, so that's going to be true. Exactly 2 words long. No, digital root of 19 is going to be 1, which is not what we're looking for. Why did that take me so long? Dear God. Do we skip Russia? We do skip Russia. 1, 2. So for 2, we click military. Mark that down on the sheet. And now we're at the final stage. The 5 permanent member flags have shown up on the left. All other modules on the bomb are solved. We take a look at how many times each button has been correct over the course of the bomb. And we see that military is the most common correct answer. So we'll click the military button. I've been Grunkle Squeaky. This has been Security Council. Thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful day. Peace.